Here's something that might bother you a little. The happiest people you know probably think about life far less than you do. They're not smarter, they're not luckier. They just stopped doing something you can't seem to quit. And the strangest part? They didn't read a book about it. They didn't go to therapy for it. They just decided. Now, before you assume I'm talking about people who are reckless or detached from reality, let me be clear. Carefree is not careless. Careless people ignore their problems. Carefree people just don't adopt problems that were never theirs to begin with. There's a difference between someone who forgets to pay their bills and someone who refuses to lose sleep over a conversation that hasn't happened yet. One is negligence, the other is freedom. Carefree people still have responsibilities. They still care about their work, their relationships, their future. But they've made a quiet decision somewhere along the way. They've decided that their inner peace is not negotiable. So when something threatens it, something they can't control, they don't fight it. They let it exist without becoming consumed by it. Most people do the opposite. They grip tighter. They plan more. They rehearse arguments in the shower. They imagine worst-case scenarios and then feel the stress of events that may never occur. And here's what's really going on underneath all of that. When you overthink, you're not being responsible. You're being afraid. Afraid of losing control. Afraid of being caught off guard. Afraid of what someone might think or say or do. And so you prepare. You overanalyze. You replay and predict and exhaust yourself mentally, hoping that if you just think hard enough, you'll somehow protect yourself from pain. But carefree people have realized something you probably haven't admitted yet. All that thinking doesn't protect you. It just makes you suffer twice. Once in your head, and once if it actually happens. The psychology here is subtle but powerful. Carefree people don't need as much external validation. They're not constantly measuring themselves against what others expect. They've built a kind of internal stability that doesn't shake every time someone disapproves. And because of that, they don't ruminate the same way. They don't replay social interactions, wondering if they said the wrong thing.
What if I said that?
They said what they said. It's done.
I can't handle this deadline.
They're also strangely comfortable with uncertainty. Not because they're naive, but because they've accepted that control is mostly an illusion anyway. You can prepare endlessly and still get blindsided by life. So instead of trying to predict every outcome, they just respond to things as they come. Present tense, not future tense. Meanwhile, most people are mentally living in a future that doesn't exist. Stressing about possibilities, guarding against hypothetical failures, and they wonder why they're tired all the time. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. How much of your day is spent solving problems that aren't actually happening right now? How often do you feel tension in your chest over something that's just a thought? Not a reality, a thought. Carefree people aren't lucky. They're not living easier lives. They've just stopped volunteering for suffering. They've realized that most stress is self-generated. It's a habit, not a requirement. And maybe that's what makes them seem so mysterious. In a world full of people gripping tightly, they're the ones who let go. Not because they don't care, but because they've figured out what actually deserves their energy. You could spend your entire life chasing certainty, planning for disasters, rehearsing how you'll respond to pain, or you could just live and trust that when something actually happens, you'll deal with it then. That's not a technique. It's not advice. It's just a quiet shift in what you're willing to carry. And maybe that's all happiness really is. Not adding more good things, just setting down the weight you never needed to pick up in the first place.